running this halfway house in Wellington where we had quite a lot of people who had very few skills, that had been incarcerated in either mental institutions or jails. So we decided the thing that they mainly lacked was a home, a family life and that sort of thing. And we'd provide a family for them, which meant for us that if you got a bed in our house, you could stay there for life. We decided that apart from domestic skills, which when they're living in the house, they had to learn how to cook and at least boil an egg and make some breakfast or something like that. We thought it'd be quite good to get some land where they could learn some other skills. Marion was in hospital having Lucy, as it turned out.
And while I was having a baby, he was up and off and around the place looking for a bit of land, which I knew nothing about, with my mother.
I said to her mother, I said, there's a really nice looking piece of land in the paper. Let's go and have a look at it. Well, she was very keen. Away we went. Didn't tell Marion or anything. We came out here, thought it was good, and we decided to buy it. Marion's mother was agreeing from way back. She said, if you're going to have this land and teach the people, you're going to have to do it organically. And I said, well, that's a lot of nonsense, isn't it? I mean, crumbs. But then, of course, I discovered that Shell Oil was one of the big patenters of hybrid seeds. They were all high yielding, and they were high yielding because they were dependent upon their petrochemical fertilizers. And I thought having an oil company in charge of the food chain, patenting the seeds that we're going to eat, seems a terrible idea. So I started looking into it and then discovered, of course, that the people who were trying to farm some other way was the organic movement. So I got fairly well converted, really, on political grounds. The organic movement tries to retain and build up the fertility of the soil out of which healthy, strong plants grow.
We basically set up Commonsense Organics to mainstream organics, and we wanted to show people that organic vegetables tasted the best in the world and that they were for everybody.
One of the criticisms we always get, and get it all the time, is that organic food is so expensive. Well, the truth of the matter is, it's not that organic food is so expensive, it's that what's called conventional food is so cheap. And the reason is the costs of conventional food are not costs to the producer. For instance, if a farmer pollutes the water tables with either fertilizers or pesticides, it means that the public purse then has to clean it up. But organic farmers don't pollute in that way. Because we're more careful with what we put in, we don't have anything like the same detrimental effect on the environment. Now, it's not only the environmental cost, it's also the quality of conventionally produced food, which is getting less and less nutritious, which means that we're having all sorts of costs being picked up downstream by the health department. Organic food is producing good, nutritious food that keeps people healthy, and it looks after the environment in hosts of ways.
One of the things that is most important to us is to model a different way of doing business, a different business paradigm. And it's based on telling the truth. We always tell the staff, don't bullshit, because the customer probably knows more than you do anyway. And we extend that to things like advertising. So all of the images that we use are real. And that's very important to us in terms of our representations need to be who we are and what we stand for.
Our core values come down to organic food, fair trade and social responsibility, and environmental sustainability. It goes right through to our packaging, waste management, electricity companies that we use. Our printing is all on recyclable paper and with vegetable-based inks. We just try and look at every aspect of the way we do things in the most sustainable way. So we're a group of people working in our community, in our environment, and we've got to look after those things.
The way the big people buy from growers is that they always try to get as cheaply as they possibly can. And very often they'll only offer prices to the suppliers that are less than production costs. If you screw people down and you're not interested in what happens to them, they will disappear. And goodness knows, farming is hard enough. So we decided that we wanted to keep our growers in business.
One of my favourite jobs was arriving at 7:30 on Monday morning to call my produce suppliers. And these were people who I have worked with for 6-7 years. We talk about what's in season, what's available for the week. We actually have a really close personal relationship with our suppliers. So really what you're doing when you're shopping for produce at Commonsense Organics is you're buying what's going to be best for you at that time of year, what's going to be the best value, and what's going to allow our suppliers to grow what grows for them.
We don't ask our employees to leave their values at the door when they come to work. We want to know who they are. We want to know what interests them, what makes them tick, what motivates them.
We hire for a fit with the values of the company. We invest a lot in our staff training, and staff are really encouraged and empowered to answer questions on the shop floor, to find out the answers.
We appreciate the trust that our customers have in us to look into the products that we're thinking of stocking, look into the suppliers, do the work for them. And it means that we can be really genuine and confident in talking about these wonderful ranges that we have in our stores.
Our training involves a trip out to common property, the farm, where they're involved in a half-day training on organic agriculture, and the other half is on the values, the history of the company, where it's come from and where it's going.
One of the things that has changed, dramatically changed in the last few years, is the range of products that is available to us. So you now can actually do your whole shopping at Commonsense Organics.
Well, when we started off, I think we had about 1,500 lines, or might have even been less. It might have been more like 1,000 lines of things we sold. It's now closer to 10,000 lines, you see. And it covers really the complete spectrum. We don't do many clothes.
No, we don't.
We don't really think of ourselves as a business. We're just a group of people all trying to do a similar thing. We're obviously started as a family business, but the family has grown so big, we're now 120.
The success for us is that we're still doing it, that people are happy doing it. We've been selling in the shops for 25 years. I mean, when I started, there was a little Greek shop in Courtney Place, and I used to go down there because I had no customers. He'd say, "How's it going?" And I said, "Oh, there's no coming in much yet." He said, "Don't worry," he says, "just be there. They'll come once they discovered it." And what he said to me was, everybody thinks that business is about competition. You know, they're stupid. Business is basically about cooperation. It's about cooperating with the people you buy from. It's by cooperating with the people you sell to. It's cooperating with your staff. And if you actually cooperate, it makes a buzzing thing.
It's astonishing. It's as if a penny has dropped. And so many people are concerned about ethical trading. They want to know where their produce came from, where this product came from, and that the workers were treated fairly, that the land is being treated with respect. All of these things are more and more important to particularly the younger generation. And we just think that holds such hope for the future.